So yeah, Pinky and the Brain is that the name of the episode?
Yes. Get back to the actual episode now that we've rambled a lot about all sorts of things. But
So Pinky Pride.
Pinky Pride, yes. Okay, so also called the Weird Al episode, and we have open with him, in a town and leaving. I think that's a reference to a specific Western movie, but I don't know.
Sure.
Or maybe a reference to like 20 different Western movies.
Yeah.
We see a lot of Western, it's a good time to point out, we see a lot of Western movie references in this episode.
Yeah.
There is, of course, High Noon at one point.
Yeah.
The scene where the people are hiding behind barrels while they do like their face-off is, I think, Showdown at the OK Corral.
Sure. 310 to Yuma is an obvious
they
one.
reference 310 to Yuma. There was The Man with No Name, where Pinky says she never got his name.
That was a good one.
Yeah. There may have been a reference to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which is the famous face-off, where it's do 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 that, you know what I'm talking about.
You could make an argument. This is going to be a bit of a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
You could make an argument for the Western musical "Paint Your Wagon," because the whole episode.
Oh, right, that's a real thing.
That's a real thing. I mean, The Simpsons spoofed it. That's a pretty sorry-looking wagon you got there.
Could use a coat of paint.
Then what are we waiting for?
That's not how the actual thing goes, is
No.
it? Okay. But Paint Your Wagon is a musical.
It is a real
Yeah,
musical,
yeah.
But yeah, because the whole episode's a musical,
Right,
So,
and there's Western themes. You could argue it's a parody of Paint Your Wagon.
sure, it would be a huge stretch. I don't think it really is.
Gonna paint your wagon. Is that an actual song?
I've never really seen it. I've seen like a clip from it because I was intrigued as a kid.
I looked it up to see if it was real.
Yeah, me too. Because I assumed it was a Simpsons joke until I heard about it. And
it actually has that actor in it.
Yeah. Actually has Clint Eastwood, who of course Weird Al's character with this little poncho is supposed to be like, that's Clint Eastwood.
One of Clint Eastwood's various interchangeable characters.
Right.
And so we got. Okay, so it opened with him, and then it goes to Pinky singing a song about how she plans all these parties. Yeah, I was telling him while we watched, which is why I said we should have probably done this live. We also would have gotten on fewer tangents.
Done a reaction.
That she apparently has a party every single day and invites like half the town.
Yeah.
She probably invites the whole town and not all of them show up. And like that, it seems like that would get tiring. It's kind of where's she getting the money for this? Like, one assumes she charges to hold parties as, real life party planners do. But she does have a day job that she does most days that would logically be like minimum wage or close to a job, especially since she gets housing from it as well.
Actually, I caught myself thinking, and it's probably because what we talked about earlier and what is probably going to be like another video, but we were talking about like the whole how they've built up this world. I probably wouldn't have thought this if I were like watching like Doc McStuffins, which my niece loved, but I was sitting there and I'm thinking like, why, like, how can she afford to put on these parties? Because I asked Zan that while we were watching it, like, how can she do this and like and I was trying to figure out their economy. Because she's just going up and
they do have a fiat currency called bits, but yeah, people were now it's possible that Pinky in particular works on a barter.
Okay.
We see most of the ponies use cash in their transactions, but she doesn't. You're right, she didn't seem to in there.
Yeah, they're just giving
Now it's possible she has lines of credit, but it's also possible she works on barter. They give her supplies and she holds parties for them and their fillies for free.
I did like that part where she goes to get paint and she's like, I want the whole rainbow, and like the rainbow pours into her bag and it just turns brown.
And yet she somehow gets all the colors out of it later.
Yeah, later it's like magically a rainbow again. I guess they are magical ponies. So.
Well, she doesn't. In theory, she doesn't have that much magic, but
she's one of the mundane ponies.
She visits Earth ponies. They have they have vaguely defined agricultural powers.
Gotcha. Vaguely defined agricultural powers. Like
also super
strength.
Also super strength. But,
okay.
Right. Yeah, no. That supposedly they can till Earth better than other races, and like have it be more fertile. Okay, yeah, and I was talking about Rainbow Dash. I mean, she presumably makes money from her job running the local weather.
Okay.
Because their weather is controlled, which there's a whole other theory on that. Watch my other videos.
Yeah.
But no, I don't have a video on that one yet. I talk about it at conventions, but I don't think I made a video.
Okay.
Anyway, the 28 pranks later, Rainbow Dash spends what has to have been a small fortune on those pranks, including buying 100 boxes of totally not Girl Scout cookies and buying like several hundred scrolls, and they're like high quality vellum,
So getting back to this episode, right? You were doing the synopsis. So
yeah, okay. So she has her song there, and it's pretty good. And this is a very song heavy episode. As I was telling him, I think the first season they had a song nearly every episode, but it's been getting, after that it gets a little fewer and further between.
Yeah.
Oh geez, what did happen? Oh yeah, she was intimidating Rainbow Dash. I had to explain the Pinky Promise because that's a reference to first season episode. Cross my heart, hope to fly, stick a cupcake in my eye.
She shoved that cupcake in her
Pinky
face.
insists on literally sticking a cupcake in her eye. Most of the ponies just put their hoof over their eye and close it.
Right.
Occasionally they'll forget to close it and they'll go, ow.
They're trying to drive home like how committed she is to throwing like, awesome parties. Yeah.
Yeah, and she starts putting the thing together, and Cheese Sandwich comes into town. It's all westerny.
Yeah.
And sings his song.
All right, yeah. And so at first I'm like, this is an interesting character because he's like this cool sort of BA guy. He's a cowboy. He's this maverick roaming from town to town. And then all of a sudden, like, honest, the first thing I thought, he throws off his poncho and all this. And he looks like a gay man. Like he's got like a perm going on.
Have you seen Weird Al's hair?
Yeah.
That's what it's based on.
I know. It's supposed to be like Weird Al, but I don't know. It's something about the way they animate this character. He just looked gay.
He is a common ship with Pinkie Pie, actually.
Yeah, well, right, and then
because there's not that many male characters, so often they ship the female characters with each other.
Well, and I picked up like they were trying to establish a little I don't know if you call it sexual tension, but they were trying to set up like like we both do parties and like we like doing it.
Right, so. I would say romantic tension since it's a kids show.
Okay, true. Yeah.
I mean, Cadence does get pregnant, and then he and the other guy who have a young full high five. fans have got cracked up on that one.
That's pretty good. Wow. All right. So he comes. He does his song. There's a bunch of songs, and like he basically like hijacks
the party. Yeah. And she gets like everyone just forgets she's there.
Yeah.
That seems a little overdone, but
and she's following behind him. I remember this stuck out to me. She's following behind him and like she's crying like, "Are you okay?" And she like licks her tears out of her eyes.
That was a little later in the episode, but
okay.
That was when she forfeited, I think, right?
No, I think this was earlier.
Oh,
It was when everyone was like, "Oh, this cool new gay guy's in town. Let's go with him."
Yeah, and then she tries all those other careers and is terrible at them. Really, how much common sense does it take to know you don't put a cupcake in a patient? Which is another indication they have mostly like 20th century level tech. They have steam power. We've seen it,
but they still use magic.
Yeah, well, they use magic to substitute for a lot of things. They have cameras, and there appear to be Kodaks, like instant development.
Yeah.
But they don't seem to have Polaroid. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
They seem to have Polaroid pictures. Shake it like a Polaroid. Anyway, but they don't have telephones.
Okay.
They have to send long distance messages by magic scroll.
Okay.
Or by mail. Now, granted, the Pegasi can fly at a significant fraction of the speed of sound.
So this is like when you're playing Civilization and you've gone way up one end of the tech tree,
but not the other.
Yeah, it's like you have gunpowder, but like you don't have the wheel.
Right. You can't do that in more modern civs, but I have done that on other civs.
Yeah. It's like somehow you don't have writing yet, but your people are shooting guns. Yeah. Okay. All right, I gotcha.
So that well, and magic substitutes for some of that, and we see at least one cases where horses are actually pulling the locomotive.
Okay.
I guess they ran out of coal or something, but it uses steam power other times. I think we even see a coal what do you call it, cart or car on one time. They call it the Friendship Express. It's toyetic or toyetic, whatever the expression is.
Yikes.
Right. Yeah, so that, they have 20th century technology, but what level is kind of varies depending on what area.
Yeah.
I don't think we really had it confirmed. Well, no, they have that picture in the opening credits, don't they? But outside of that, I don't know that we saw an actual camera. We saw photos until recently.
All right.
Anyway.
But anyways, what happens next? Oh, by the way,
she tries the careers, huh?
That scene, the scene where she's trying the careers, like when I thought that was a flashback. I thought it was like her like how she announced all these parties, you know, and now that you mention it, it makes perfect sense
because
like,
stuff kept collapsing.
Yeah, because like her zeal for parties is so great. I thought she was like taking like the cupcake to the doctor like while he's in the ER or whatever. So
Oh no! It's supposed to be her trying other careers.
Gotcha. Okay, sorry. So
she
tries.
thinks she's washed up as a party planner. As if there can only be one party planner in an entire country at a given time.
Jeez. All right. So
it's called competitive or comparative advantage, people.
That's right.
You don't have to have an absolute advantage. You just have to have a comparative advantage.
I like it.
Exactly.
So all right. So anyway. So she tries different careers. What happens next?
Oh. Remember, Twilight came up to her while she pretended to water flowers, but was actually just pouring water down the drain.
Okay.
And Twilight was just like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Sure, why wouldn't I?" Creepy smile.
Yeah.
And then Twilight's like, "Okay," and just kind of carefully walks away.
Okay.
They're kind of used to Pinky being crazy.
Yeah.
In some episodes, when she's been depressed, her hair has gone completely flat.
Okay.
It just sort of partially deflated in this case. It correlates to her mood.
Right.
There was an episode Party of One where she like went crazy and her hair went completely straight for a while.
Okay.
That's where they had Madame Lafleur and Rocky, who was a pile of rocks, and Mr. Turnip Bucket. It's like a SpongeBob episode where he had Chip, Penny, and Used Napkin.
Yeah. Used Napkin.
Right, Used Napkin. That's what people did mashups of those for a while.
Sounds like my sounds like my life, you know, at home in the evenings. I'm just talking to inanimate objects. You know. All right.
I yell at my computer. Stupid thing. Anyway. And occasionally I yell advice to characters on TV.
Zan's still trying to run. He's trying to run Civ 6 on a Pentium 2 processor.
It's an i3, but the problem is that I don't have a dedicated graphics card.
Yeah.
It's not
Anyway,
a good i3, but
so she descends into a deep spiral of depression.
spiraling, slap. Okay, spiraling over now.
But then what happens?
Okay. She goes and challenges. She sees all the memories of her old parties and the stuff. And you see her family.
There's like the
with all three
inspiring
sisters
Disney
this
song.
time. When that scene was shown originally,
Yeah.
only 2 sisters were present.
Interesting.
Can you guess what fans called them?
Which fan? Probably the autistic male fans.
The Brony fans.
Oh, the bronies. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because her name is Pinky, and she has 2 sisters. So what are their names?
Like I don't know, Winky and Tinky or something.
Inky and Blinky, like the ghost from Pac-Man.
Oh.
And then Maud corresponds to Clyde. Except their names weren't revealed until much later than Maud's. Their names are Limestone and Marble.
So they worked in a Pac-Man reference.
No, that was fans that did that.
Oh, the fans
Yeah.
named them. Okay.
Their actual names are Limestone and Marble.
Oh, gotcha.
And then the other sister is Maud, though, which isn't like a funny theme name.
And then there's Maud?
Yes. I had a video called that.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That was the alternative title because I named him after Star Wars.
Gotcha.
Return of the Maud Pie.
Yeah, and of course she sings that song in this episode where it's like this like Disney. That's what I thought. Like it felt like a Disney princess song, like the inspirational.
Yeah, she ends
one.
on the balcony.
She's on the balcony and singing.
It's called the I Want song. Except
okay.
she was actually saying what she was planning to do, rather than what she wanted to do.
Right.
So, I mean, and what she had previously done. Did I get the tense right there?
Sure.
Oh, your history, not English.
Close
Never mind.
English minor, baby.
I am the ghost of Christmas conditional future perfect. I'm going to show you what would have been happening. What would have been happening if you had not been going to have experienced this.
Oh man, I love it.
That's all on Facebook.
I love
Cracked up.
All right. So then she goes and challenges him to the
to the goof off, and they make it like big. Everyone acts like it's big stakes, but it's just who gets to plan that particular party.
Right.
Although the title may be more important to either of them
Right.
than that particular one.
Okay.
But Cheese Sandwich didn't seem to take any money from the town. Granted, they apparently gave him his supplies for free, so there may be some sort of barter. Although that implies that he lives primarily on birthday cake. Pinky does seem to subsist primarily on sweets herself.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right.
On the other hand, horses can eat grass. I mean, if they're desperate, they can just head out to the prairie.
Yeah, sure.
Chew down.
All right, and so then there's the goof off, and then but they take it too far.
Yeah,
There
well,
has to
and
be the lesson
he has
there.
that part where where Weird Al's character parodies the Smile song,
Uh-huh.
and I had to tell him what that was.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
stole my song. I have no idea what you're talking about. Which is Weird Al parodies often do that.
Sure.
He was the voice of Darkseid on Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
You know, the comic book villain.
Yeah, sure.
And it's like, I know you sound like Weird Al. They spent the whole episode lampshading it. Says, I wish I was as evil as that guy. Can you imagine ripping off other people's songs for a living? That man is a national treasure. It was great.
You know, his last album, Mandatory Fun, like it went to #1, like the Billboard album charts or something like that. Yeah, which I mean, there's two reasons for that. One is that just physical album sales are way down from what they used to be. I think has a lot to do with it, but it was also a good album. So I mean, it was a funny album.
And of course, White and Nerdy blew up a couple years ago, if you remember.
Yeah.
And he has great ones called He has one called Don't Download This Song, and one called Stop Forwarding Me Your Emails. And then it ends with forward this to 10 people or your hair and toenails will fall out or something like that.
Weird Al's, I mean, just getting off on this really quick, like, you know, he's one of those guys, like, I don't really listen to a lot of his stuff anymore, but when I was like in high school and going through that awkward, those teen years, I loved like, you know, Albuquerque and all of his tunes.
I think either you or Lane were the ones who first introduced me to Albuquerque.
Probably me, yeah.
I think it might have been downloaded from Napster or something. I don't know.
Probably was. Yeah, that was back before we knew any better about that stuff.
I'm hoping that's outside the statute of limitations.
Yeah, I think you're fine.
Well, I didn't download it. Lane did.
I don't know who downloaded it or if, but somehow we had it, and but it's funny. Like I write and perform a lot of like original, you know, comedic music. Check me out, YouTube, tjcookmusic.com. Zan will flash it at the bottom of the screen. I'm gonna give you more stuff to edit in. There's gonna be can dancers around it. Put a couple of babes on either side of the URL down there.
I should put like the literal dancing baby animation. Remember that was like one of the first internet viral sensations.
Oh man, but I remember like 3 or 4 years ago I was performing some open mic, and there's this guy, this local dude who was always trying to make himself out to be like some sort of music impresario, and like, you know, he was always like, he always wanted to try to be this like manage local talent and stuff like this, and he was sort of a shyster. I mean, I don't know. He wasn't like trying to rip people off of their money, but he would just give like really dubious advice. And he told me that I should be a Weird Al tribute act. He was like, you could fill up the Florence Civic Center. And I was like, oh, you know, and I was really polite about it. I was like, yeah, there's no way.
I don't know. You might could pull it off. Yeah. Anyone could, but. You do your own original stuff, like you had that song "Contest Winner."
Yeah, Contest Winner,
which sounds like it could be a Weird Al song, or maybe Axis of Awesome. Yeah, there's that guy in Axis of Awesome looks vaguely like Jack Black and vaguely like you.
Yes, I know you're talking about. Contest Winner is in fact sort of it's inspired by / ripped off from a Tenacious D song called "To Be the Best" from their latest album. So that was sort of the inspiration for that. But anyway, enough shameless.
Contest Winner was in fact a contest winner.
It won the People's Choice Prize. The very first songwriting contest I was ever in is why I wrote that song.
Right.
Back in 2012, it's like, hey, why not? It didn't make it past the first round of judging. Like the professional songwriters just didn't like it, and
it's too edgy for the.
Yeah, well, because basically the song is making fun of songwriting.
Making fun of songwriting contests.
Yeah, right. And so, but the audience loved it, and so I won the People's Choice Prize. And so I always say it's like a big Michael Bay movie or something like that. It's panned by the critics, but like tons of people go and see it and love it.
It's not for the critics.
It's not for.
Remember that guy who said that like critics couldn't criticize his movie because it wasn't for them.
For them. Well,
who was that?
You can say all you want, but anyway. So yeah. But sorry, getting back to the episode.
Yeah.
That's enough shameless self-promotion.
Yeah, we were on song parodies, and she realized they've gone too far when she crushes Rainbow Dash under a giant piñata.
Yeah.
Rainbow Dash is fine because they are incredibly durable because they half obey cartoon physics.
Yeah, right.
Or I should say Warner Brothers cartoon physics, since it's not Universal Doll cartoons.
Right.
Yeah, and she gets really sad again and cries, and people go help her, and then they work together on the party, which is, why didn't someone think of that?
Yeah,
20 minutes earlier.
Right. and of course, like all of us watching, we know what's gonna happen. You know, it's like we know exactly they're gonna team up and they're gonna become friends.
Occasionally, they do throw you a curveball in
Yeah.
those episodes, but it usually is pretty predictable.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then you get his modified backstory where he explains that he was inspired by her, and there's again more romantic tension there.
yeah. It's kind of weird because like in that flashback, he's a little kid, and then
And so is she.
Oh, okay.
And
She seemed older.
he was wandering around the countryside without any adult supervision.
So this little nerdy kid in glasses is like walking around
Right.
in the wilderness.
Like, what happened to his parents? We don't see her parents in that flashback, but we know they do business in Ponyville occasionally, so they were presumably just not
And
on screen at that point.
He's supposed to be like painfully shy, and yet he sets off like at what looks like the age of 4 or 5 on this footloose
Well,
country.
he got
adventure.
his cutie marks are fantasy puberty, so he was presumably more like 11 or 12.
Oh, okay. All right.
Although in the ponies, the males and females get the cutie marks about the same
But I
time.
definitely got the impression that she was older than him.
Probably. She already had her cutie mark and had for probably at least months or years at that point.
Right.
She was still a kid, though, as you could tell. If you
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at proportions, you could tell.
Okay.
Like I said, presumably her family was in town, just not on screen right then.
Yeah.
We've seen hints that they do business, and they've run a rock farm.
Yeah. Keep in mind, this is the part of the episode where like I'm getting comfortable like in the recliner and like I'm paying attention, but I'm starting to like I'm starting to doze off a little bit. So anyway.
Yeah, right. And that was actually before their team up, and then they teamed up, and then he
Yeah.
gave her Boneless, which was actually they were gathering 6 keys throughout that season, and like the thing was they didn't realize what they were. They were representative of their elements. She's the element of laughter. I'm like,
Is that what the thing
kinda
shine
almost
like
laughter.
flash with the
Right, that's why her
rainbow?
eyes did too.
Ah, okay.
I mean, because their element, what is it? Magic, loyalty, generosity, kindness,
Okay.
laughter.
Like I saw that little
skipped
shining
one.
rainbow thing, and I was like, oh, okay. It's just like sort of highlighting to the viewer, like, oh, this is like the specialness of the gift. But so in
Right.
fact, if were I a brony and I've been following this closely, I would have
Yeah.
been like, holy crap! It's one of the elements. It's one of the
Right,
keys. Okay.
right.
All right.
Yeah,
I
when
gotcha.
it unfortunately Boneless turns into a physical key later. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh come on! She liked that. It's much better as a rubber chicken. It would have been better if it had just been inserted into the box as a rubber chicken.
Yeah, sure.
And the others, I was like, I mean, the others were like coins and stuff. They had some sentimental value, but
Yeah.
it wasn't something where the specific form of them was essential to
Yeah.
it. But that one kind of was.
All right. And
But when they're trying to find out, they figure out what the keys are before they figure out how to use them.
Yeah.
And when they do that, Pinkie Pie shakes him and goes, "What do you know, Boneless? What do you know?" Yeah,
All
I think
right.
it's Boneless 2. I've seen a lot of cheese sandwich cosplayers that have a rubber chicken with a 2 painted on
You
it.
know, this might from the first part of this video. Sort of, I think part of the appeal of the show is probably all of the references, all the pop culture references.
That helps, definitely.
Yeah, okay.
And,
All right. So, have we gotten to the end of the episode yet?
yeah, that's the end of the episode.
Okay,
Yeah, and that's, I don't know, like you kind of gave your summary at the beginning. It was enjoyable.
Yeah, like I mean, that was the first time I've ever seen like a full episode of this that I know of. I've had students like the show and like, and I.
Oh, he
I-
teaches high school. I don't think we introduced that.
Yeah, I teach high school, and I actually sponsor Nerd Club.
Nerd Club?
Yeah. Surprisingly, we don't have like I think the My Little Pony thing. Like I saw more of all my students like maybe 2 years ago. I haven't noticed it as much lately, but
Well, it kind of peaked in popularity around season 4.
yeah, sure. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I've had students show me clips. I had a student who wanted to learn one of the songs from the shows one time, and so I think we did that. But he learned to play it on bass. Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
So I've had some exposure to it. Of course, Zan tells me about it. I watch his videos every now and then because I'm his friend and I support him, not because I have any great love for My Little Pony.
Well,
but,
the science part is at least independently
yeah.
interesting, I hope.
But it is, yeah. But I will say, like, as a skeptic and as someone who was like planning to come and like rip in the show, I was like, I actually really
Yeah, I
like,
told him your job is primarily to make fun of it.
yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. Again, like I'm not gonna start sitting down and watching the show myself. I think what fascinates me about the show is not the show itself, but the community around it. That's really interesting to me. and how the creators have apparently sort of responded to that, which just is good financial sense on their part, you know, and how they've responded to that and have really done a lot of like fan service and all that. So I kind of appreciate it in that regard. So I was pleasantly surprised. Like, it's something like if my niece started watching it, I would watch it with her.
Yeah, and that's family viewing is apparently kind of the goal.
Yeah.
Interestingly, the original My Little Pony toys,
Yeah.
the designer originally intended it to be horses and to be marketed at both genders. You'd have like race horses.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But
We had My Little Pony toys like growing up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from the original show. Not many. I mean,
well, we had some that were inherited from our cousin.
that's kind of us. Yeah, we got them from somebody else.
I
but,
mean,
yeah,
we
had
don't
a few
know.
little
They
things.
went to another cousin after my sister got too old, and
Yeah.
actually the show had ended by that point. But I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah.
They're probably, some of them might be worth something now. But I had Barbie fighting Ninja Turtles. If you recall, they were different scales. So
Yeah.
Barbie was like that giant, Krang suit he had.
But yeah, I mean, as far as the show, I mean, it was entertaining. You know, like the music was well done. I definitely you talk about like with the artwork and all of that. So
Yeah, a lot of bronies that have children say like it's great to have that excuse to go buy stuff, and they watch the show with them.
Oh man,
You occasionally, I saw. Oh, I was trying to. I've seen couples cosplay. I was trying to remember if someone had a cosplay with their kids. I've seen Steven Universe ones with that. I can't think if it has some My Little Pony one, but yeah, the.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny, but I'll do that.
Yeah.
I've
but yeah,
Steven
I was pleasantly surprised. So sure.
Yeah, I've been trying to get my girlfriend into it. She'll occasionally watch an episode, but she mostly watches it with her niece.
And let me see bronies out there. There is hope. Like here is a guy who identifies as a brony. He's got a girlfriend. Okay.
I know plenty of brony couples actually.
Yeah.
Sometimes the females call themselves Pegasisters, but
Pegasus. So there are
Pegasisters. Get it?
Pegasisters.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there technically are female bronies.
Yeah, I mean males outnumber
Okay.
the females, but it's depending on age group. The breakdown might be as much as 75-25, or as little
Yeah.
as like 60-40.
Yeah. So what's her take on it? Like, has she watched any of it, or?
She likes it all right.
Yeah.
She's not as into it as I am. She
Sure.
likes a lot of the fan artwork. Really, I've been trying to get her into like fan fiction and stuff because a lot of that's really interesting.
Yeah, sure.
But she has been doing way too much lately, which that's
Yeah.
not going to get into that here.
Yeah, sure. Of course. But yeah, man. I mean, I don't know about anything else to say. That was
Yep.
fun.
We
Thanks
might
for
try
having
to
me
do one for Maud Pie. Maybe post in the same batch if you wind up coming over tomorrow. But we'll see.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Good night and drive safely.